So hi everybody, good morning and welcome to the winter solstice was yesterday. I've been talking about this winter season and how important it is to rest for the season. So I want to explain why, because I know for myself, if I don't know why I'm doing something, it kind of doesn't make any sense to me. So I just wanted to give a little bit more information of why we do this. So it's, rest for the season. So why do we want to do that? So for one thing, on the Northern Hemisphere, the winter solstice, it is the darkest and shortest day of the year. It's a time to hibernate. It's also, the sun is furthest from the sun, which gives us less amount of internal juice. The sun gives us a lot of energy. We don't have that much sun this time of year. It's also cold, which changes our immune system because of that sunlight not being here. So what's happening is that by this time of year also, if we're following the cycles of the seasons, it's the time of hibernation. The nature is telling us that. Why? Because our vessels, our batteries are low. We've just came off, we did the spring, which is all about seeding and planting. Then we have the summer, it was high activity, longer days, lots of sun, extremely busy. Then we came into the fall, and now we're, harvesting what we did in the summer and the spring. Again, high activities. The days are still longer. There's a slight shift, but as soon as winter comes, and especially at the solstice, your vessels are empty. We're running on empty. And what happens is we have these holidays that we're pushed because we're celebrating, we're having parties. It's more activity on top of this empty vessel. A lot of people get sick this time of year. There's the flu outbreak this time of year. Now we have COVID on top of all of this. So it's imperative that we restore this empty vessel. You can't run on empty, especially at this age group. Now, between the time you're born to about 33, all these building blocks are free. You can do usually whatever you want and you still have energy. You can stay up really late at night. You can take care of your family and work and go and go and go. And you don't maybe feel it as much. But at this age, especially after 50, it's harder to, the building blocks are not free anymore. So we have to make sure that we repair, restore, regenerate ourselves, especially this time of year. If we don't, then spring's going to come and you're going to start your activity again, and you're going to start on this empty vessel and then proceed into the summer and then really blow yourself out. So it's, remember that, silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. There's a reason why that song is so popular. It is about quiet. So what I can really recommend, especially for the holiday season coming up, if you're really feeling overloaded, if you're just stop yourself, take a nap, do the things that you know what to do to restore your energy. So the winter season will be about this restoration. We do this through our movements. Our movements are more water-like, they're more flowy for a softer kind of movement. It's the kidneys we're really working on, because the kidneys and the bladder is part of our water system, our fluid system. So it's imperative that we get the system moving, the water moving, the blood moving, all the lymphatic system moving. It's important that we propel, which is that hydraulic system that I talk about, getting those lymph systems moving, opening up those lymph nodes, and then excreting out, releasing toxins. We don't want those toxins in our system. So it's, again, imperative that we move our bodies. But then again, how do you move? Maybe working out in the gym vigorously might not be a good idea. It might break you down more than rebuild you. So think about, what you're doing. Walking's a really great thing to do. Get outside as often as you can. Try to get some sunlight during the day, even if you sat outside and just took in that light as often. Maybe get up earlier so you have more sunlight in your day. And then the other thing that we do is sit. So we stand also. We do standing movements, and it is considered a movement. It's an active movement, even though we're not moving per se, but we're grounding ourselves when we stand. We're strengthening, or especially our lower limbs, rooting down into the earth. the upper body stays fluid. That's where the Tai Chi movements come in. The Tai Chi is about the grounding and the upper body's more chill. And then we sit. And the importance of the sitting is just as important as the movement and as the standing, because in the sitting is where we go into reflection, contemplation. We're reflecting and contemplating our life so we can figure out what we want to plant in the springtime. And I find this very inspirational to do this when we reflect. What do we want to do in our next journey? You know, I told you about this couple I met over the weekend, and they had sold everything in Rochester and moved to Colorado to be closer to their children. And they're big movements, they're big changes in life, I think. Well, there's always big moments in our life. We're doing some major changing, and it doesn't have to be so major either. It could be just a simple thing like learning a new skill, learning, you know, signing up for a new educational program. Maybe we're retiring, you know, those things are changed. So give yourself some time to reflect. And what do you want on your next path? You know, what do you want to plant for this season coming up of spring? So whatever you're doing now is going to be really helpful as we move into the other seasons, you know, after the winter. If you don't fill up your vessel now, you've got a really empty hand, you know, and we can't give when we're empty. So think of yourself, you've got to fill yourself up so we can also, you know, give to others and feel healthy, to feel joyous. This is a stressful time of year. I mean, you know, I love this song, it's the most happiest day of the year. Well, you know, it could be the worst day of the year for a lot of people. So, you know, if you're feeling that, it's fine. Maybe sit with that, you know, reflect on that, maybe be quieter, calmer. And then, you know, you can't be joyous, you can't have compassion, you can't have peace if your body doesn't feel well, if your mind's all like, blah, you know, really congested with, you know, maybe negativity. And you know, as we get older, we want to smooth our rough edges, and we keep smoothing out so we can feel joy, so we can feel pleasure, so we can feel peace and be that light that is always talked about, you know, us be the light. So it's important to give yourself that time to fill your vessel so we can move with you know, compassion for others, so we can be softer human beings, so we can tread lighter on this world and get that twinkle back in our eye. I was watching a show with I can't think of his name. He's in his 90s. He's an old-time crooner singer. He sings with Lady Gaga a lot. I know you probably know who he is, but I can't, for some reason, can't think of his name right now. But he's like 95.
Tony Bennett.
Tony Bennett. Yeah, Tony Bennett, that's it. And I was just amazed. His voice is incredible still. And his eyes sparkled. He had these blue, clear eyes, and there was such a twinkle in them. And you could just tell he's got all this energy still. He's really has a lot of vitality. So in order to get that vitality, you can't keep pushing yourself. We're going to burn out really quick. This is our age that we need to think about restoration and repairing, especially for this winter season. So give yourself that gift and take some more time doing the things that you know fill your vessel up. You know, think more about how your day is going. That's where that contemplation comes. You know, that's where you can reflect and kind of tweak maybe your schedule a bit. Okay, so I will stop this.